Ibram X. Kendi, his center is now being investigated. The predicate for this is that they laid off some 20% of their entire staff, following the fact that they had millions and millions and millions of dollars, and it just randomly went for, it's just gone now. Philippe Copeland is a former employee of the Boston University Ibram X. Kendi Center for Grift. And here is what he posted recently on his social media. Quote, Boston University needs to explain how one of its premier centers ended up in this situation and how mass layoffs are anti-racist. This act of employment violence and trauma is not just about individual leaders. It's about the culture and systems that allow it to occur. I love it. Oh, man. It's an Ouroboros. It's a snake eating its own tail here. So, you see, Ibram X. Kendi preaches the grift, and then when he actually uses the grift to fire his own people, creating a disparity in outcome, this means he is now violating his own anti-racist precepts. It turns out if you hire a bunch of black people at the Boston University Center for Ibram X. Kendi's grift, and then you fire a bunch of black people, and you now have created a disparity, then who's the anti-racist and who's the racist, Ibram X. Kendi? Anti-racism is not a branding exercise, PR campaign, or path to self-promotion. It is a life and death matter, says Philippe Copeland. Too much of higher education responded to the so-called racial reckoning with theater, therapy, and marketing, masquerading as institutional commitment. Wherever this has occurred, it needs to be exposed for the obscenity it is. There is too much at stake. Those of us who believe in real anti-racism need to demand more from our colleges and universities. Our students are watching. To those of you laboring in institutions, the commitment to anti-racism is cosmetic and hypocritical. I see you, I hear you, I am with you, says Philippe Copeland. He says he has a story to tell. During my time at the center, I proposed and developed a new fellowship program called Designing Anti-Racist Curriculum. This was a collaboration with the Center for Teaching and Learning in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, all professional useless people. We successfully launched this new program. I decided I could no longer work at the center due to the mismanagement I witnessed. I was subsequently told I could no longer be part of the leadership of the fellowship I created. The excuse for this was that I was leaving the center and would be replaced by someone else. This was in spite of the fact I said I was willing to continue serving without a course buyout or compensation. The excuse made no sense. There's already a faculty member serving on the leadership team with no affiliation with the center. Taking a program from the black faculty member that created it is apparently what BU considers anti-racism. So they fired a black guy. This means that they are the true racists. So now BU has launched a full-scale inquiry into the Ibram X. Kendi Center for Anti-Racist Research and Grift. The assessment comes the week after Kendi laid off more than half of the center staff, not 20%, 50%, The complaints, a BU spokesperson said, focused on the center's culture and grant management practices. The inquiry announced Wednesday represents a broadening of a previous examination of the center's grant management practices, according to the spokesperson, Rachel LaPaul Cavaliero. Kendi takes strong exception to the allegations made in recent complaints and media reports, she said. Since its announced launch in June of 2020, just days after the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis, the center has raised tens of millions of dollars from tech entrepreneurs, Boston area corporations, and thousands of small donors, according to the Boston Globe, which is one of the institution that sponsored Kendi. You know a company is looking out for you when they actually upgrade your service and don't charge you for it. This is great news for new and current PureTalk customers. PureTalk just added data to every plan and includes a mobile hotspot with no price increase whatsoever. If you've considered PureTalk before but you haven't made the switch, take a look again. For just $20 a month, you'll get unlimited talk, text, and now 50% more 5G data plus their new mobile hotspot. Just one reason I love PureTalk. They are veteran-owned. They only hire the best customer service team located right here in the great USA. Most families are saving almost $1,000 a year while enjoying the most dependable 5G network in America. Remember, you vote with how you spend your cash. Stop supporting woke wireless companies that hate your guts. When you go to puretalk.com/Shapiro, you'll save an additional 50% off your very first month because they actually value you. That's puretalk.com/Shapiro. PureTalk is wireless for Americans by Americans. Go check them out right now. I use PureTalk for all my calls, even when I'm abroad. It's PureTalk that is helping me out. Go check them out right now. puretalk.com/Shapiro. PureTalk is wireless for Americans by Americans. And again, and go to puretalk.com/Shapiro, save 50% off your very first month. Living a healthy lifestyle really hard, particularly true when you're on the road. How do you get those fruits and veggies that you're supposed to be having? Well, Balance of Nature fruits and veggies, they're a great way to make sure that you're getting essential nutritional ingredients every single day. Through Balance of Nature's advanced cold vacuum process, the vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients of the fruits and vegetables are preserved so you can get that vital nutrition in every capsule. Balance of Nature is a whole food supplement with no additives, fillers, extracts, synthetics, pesticides, or added sugar. The only thing in their capsules is pure fruits and veggies. Balance of Nature sent a bunch of products down to the studio for my team to try, and we all love them. You can travel with them very easily. I brought some with me. Producer Jake, not big on the veggies, kind of like me, because veggies are, again, God's form of revenge on humanity. You need them, but they're terrible. But Balance of Nature helps solve that problem. They're kosher, so I'm able to take them myself. Go to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Shapiro. Get 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code Shapiro. Again, get 35% off your first preferred order today. Balanceofnature.com. promo code Shapiro, 35% off that very first preferred order. The money was meant to finance a range of ambitious projects, a database to track racial disparities nationwide, a graduate degree program, a media enterprise, and research teams studying the effects of systemic racism on health and society. Some of those projects have come to fruition, including The Emancipator, a digital publication launched with the Boston Globe's opinion staff in 2021. So in other words, the Boston Globe did its part, but nothing else happened with the money. There is no racial data tracker. That was supposedly the centerpiece of their research. There is, in fact, no research. What exactly is the list of the center's achievements? Funding for numerous research projects, collaboration in a project launched by journalists at The Atlantic magazine. So they paid The Atlantic to do what The Atlantic does. And organizing 2 policy convenings. Ooh, policy convenings. So where's the money? It's just kind of gone, apparently. So Kendi has completed a number of personal projects since 2020, but in recent months, he's been on leave from the center. He returned last week and in a series of Zoom meetings told approximately 20 of the center's staffers they would be laid off, according to Spencer Piston, a BU professor and leader in the center's policy conference. The layoffs were initiated by Dr. Kendi, and they represented a strategic pivot, according to BU. The center will now pursue a fellowship model rather than its research-based approach. There was no research. Hard to have a research-based approach when you got no research. So again, y'all got scammed. Y'all got scammed. And that is the message here. If you can't articulate why it is that somebody should give you money to do a thing, all you can do is threaten them that you will call them a racist or a bigot. If they do not do the thing, this means that you are a cult leader and a scam artist. And that is what happened right here with the Center for Anti-Racist Bigotry. And this is indeed the greatest scam in modern America. The DEI scam, the woke scam, it is a scam. Wokeness, by the way, has an actual definition. Wokeness springs from the writings of critical legal theory. It springs from the writings of Kimberly Crenshaw. The basic idea is Kendi's idea that America is rife with institutional racism, that institutional racism serves the purposes of white supremacy, and that any disparity is evidence of that racism. That's Kendi in a nutshell. And it's a scam. Because the only way that you can escape this bind that they have created, this unfalsifiable, etheric racism that you're a part of, is to give them money. And then they waste the money. They spend it on themselves. How many scams have to be uncovered before people realize it's a scam? How many BLM leaders have to buy themselves houses like Patrisse Cullors with the cash before you realize that it is a scam? Truly, it is an amazing, amazing thing. It's like every other day, one of these scams is exposed for the scam that it is, and then people just keep on parroting the scam. DEI is a scam. It has been a scam for as long as it has been a major part of American life, and it continues to be a scam today. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.